Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Faith, Family, Fitness, and Finance. Today, we're going to be talking about creating an emergency budget, which is not an exciting topic. A lot of people don't even want to think about creating a budget. They would rather just see the money hit their bank account and sort of spend it as it comes in. I like to compare having a budget to having glasses. I mean, they're not a fun thing, but they're kind of essential. I could drive down the street without my glasses and I would look a lot better until I crash. So please, if you get value out of this content, hit the like button, share, subscribe, all of those things. I would like to grow this audience and provide value for all of you moving forward. Thank you. We are living in really challenging times right now with record high unemployment numbers in Canada and the United States and throughout the world. There are so many people that are just living on the bare bones budget, maybe even relying on relief coming from the government to feed their families while they wait for this lockdown to be lifted. So now more than ever, it's important that we make those dollars that are coming in even more efficient than they have been in the past. So I just want to talk a little bit about creating an emergency budget, sort of the four walls approach, the same as Dave Ramsey gives. And then from there, just a couple of tips on how to prioritize your spending after those four priorities. So basically, I would take the same approach as Dave Ramsey does, but with a few caveats. So first of all, of course, is food. If your family is going hungry, there's nothing else that takes precedence or priority over that. So number one thing on your emergency budget should be food. And that means essential groceries, things that you can prepare at home, things that are cost effective because you're wanting to maximize the efficiency of your dollars that are coming in. So no filet mignon. You're not going to get to barbecue every night. It might be beans and rice. It could be literally if you can find it on the store shelves, but definitely not a huge eating out budget. You're not going to be getting a bunch of takeout with this money because there are other things that you need to take care of as well. Of course, there are a few tips on maximizing how efficient those food dollars go. You could be price matching. You could be buying in bulk if they're essentials that are not perishable or have a long shelf life. I know that we have like a large bag of jasmine rice, things like that that last a long time that you can stock up on so that you can pull from those things and not have to buy them week to week. The second priority is utilities. Dave Ramsey says lights and water. But I would also include internet in those priorities, especially if you are working from home, especially if you have kids at home, all of those things. It is probably essential at this point in time for you to have internet access at home. I would encourage you to cut cable if you're still paying for that, because that is not something that's essential. There are so many streaming services. There are so many ways to access entertainment that don't include you paying hundreds of dollars to a cable company every week. Loss of these utilities would have a huge impact on you and your family. So it's essential that you stay current with these things, because when you get behind on any category, it puts stress on you and your family. So make sure that you're current on your utilities. That's priority number 2. Number 3 is shelter. Usually it would be transportation, but since we're under lockdown, since so many of us are at home, I think I would shuffle the priority here and make sure that you are current on your mortgage, on your taxes, on your home insurance, on these things that make sure that you still have a roof over your head. And then so many other things that stress us out. It just becomes a monopoly game that you might not be winning yet. But as long as you have a roof over your head and heat and all of those essential things, then you have the strength to go and tackle those other priorities. So and if you're renting, I mean, make sure that you're current on your rent. I know that landlords can't evict you, but that still means that you're going to have to catch up on rent after the fact. So please make sure that you're current on your rent payments. You don't want to be stressing yourself out and you don't want to be taking advantage of someone that was kind enough to rent to you. Wall number 4 is transportation. So the good news is gas is really cheap right now. Our budget for April, we only spent about $40 in gas because we are driving so little. But that also includes things like oil changes, essential car maintenance, maybe even the fact that you may need to replace a car. It's so essential that you have transportation for you and your family, because I still remember back to the days when I was taking the bus, when I was biking everywhere, and it was so stressful. Everything took so much longer because a grocery trip took a whole afternoon because you had to take the bus there, take the bus back, or you had to bike and get your bike stolen. All those things that are just stressors that you don't need to add to your family. So please make sure that you have your essential transportation. If you're looking for an old reliable car, I'd recommend like a 20-year-old Toyota Corolla or a 20-year-old Honda Civic. Those things are bulletproof and they will last a long time unless you get the rare lemon that's out there. So next, after you've taken care of the 4 walls, I would make sure that you're current on insurance. I mean, you need car insurance as part of your transportation. You need home insurance as part of your housing expenses. I would make sure that you're current on your life insurance or anything else that you're paying for, because the worst thing that could happen when you're already facing a dire situation would be for an emergency to arise and you not to have protection in place. And as well, if you ever let insurance lapse for non-payment, you're then considered a higher risk person after that, and it could cost you more money down the road. If you, like a lot of Canadians, are not getting a good value in the area of life insurance, 7 out of 10 Canadians are getting a poor value and even getting ripped off in the area of life insurance. So if you want someone to take a second look, the great thing about this lockdown is that we've started leveraging technology, and I'm able to sit with clients throughout Ontario. And it's just been really cool to see how I'm able to service and provide value for lots of people who are getting poor value in the area of life insurance. So if you have questions about that, leave a comment below. I'd be happy to talk with you. Even if you're outside of Ontario, I would love to point you in the right direction towards someone that could give you good value in that area as well. And then beyond those essential things, you need to start to prioritize your budget items. I mean, do you have goals that you're saving for? Do you have things that do you need to replace a car in 2 to 3 years? You should be saving towards that so that you don't get looped into a car payment. I mean, there's no way that I'm going to get looped into a car payment again after paying cash. Are you systematically saving towards Christmas? Is there a church or a charity that you would like to support? You need to prioritize these things to make sure that they fit into your budget. It's like the analogy with the large rocks, small rocks, and the sand. You need to start out with the larger things, the most important things, so that other things can filter in around them. If you start out with just wanting to go out and splurge and spend money, then you're not going to have space for these important things that you should be prioritizing. Are you investing into a TFSA or a RRSP for retirement? Are you saving to pay off your mortgage? Are you trying to save to buy a home if you don't have a home yet? Are you trying to renovate a home? All of these things take money, and if you're not careful, you'll get looped into something like a line of credit or paying some high fees and interest rates on a credit card instead of paying for these things as you go. If we are intentional and save in advance, we can save ourselves so much time, so much hassle, so much interest, so many headaches, just because we are intentional in advance and pay for these things systematically. So I would encourage all of you to create a budget. It can be a simple paper budget. It could be something, a simple app like EveryDollar or Mint. You can go in and you can use these things to coordinate. My wife and I use EveryDollar to be on the same page. I mean, I'm more of a pen and paper guy, so we still, when it comes to each paycheck, break down what we're paying each month to make sure that we're on the same page. It's so essential that if you are married, if you have a significant other, that you are prioritizing things together, that you are on the same page when it comes to your financial goals. There's so much stress that can be added to a family if you are fighting about money, if you are arguing about what your priorities are, or even who's working, who's staying home. Like, there's so many things that can be highlighted in a good way or a bad way when it comes to our relationships, and that's all shown through our money. And just know that if you're brand new to budgeting, if this is your first time being intentional with your money, it's going to take you 2 to 3 months to get it right. I mean, you're going to mess it up. Like anything, it takes time to sort of figure things out. So don't be discouraged when 1 week in you're like, I budgeted this and then I blew the budget in that category. Okay, meet again with your spouse, get on the same page again, adjust things as you need to, make it a zero-based budget again, and just move on. Don't beat yourself up for making mistakes, because all of us do. None of us are perfect at this. I've been budgeting for probably 10 years, and I'm still not perfect at it. I'm still really bad about putting all my transactions into EveryDollar, and Katie gives me a hard time about that. But it's all about being intentional moving forward. You can do this. I have confidence in you. So thank you for watching this video. If you got value from it, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone else that could benefit from it as well. All right, God bless. Thank you for tuning in to Faith, Family, Fitness, and Finance.